Do you often feel like your throat is full of mucus, no matter how many times you cough or clear it? Does your nose stay congested, even when you're not sick? Or do you experience a scratchy, repetitive sore throat? Some people even describe a strange sensation as if something is stuck in the throat, like a small lump that just won't go away. When this kind of mucus buildup continues month after month, it's usually not just seasonal allergies or a passing cold. Instead, it may be connected to certain foods you're eating every day without realizing they trigger more mucus production in the body. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 foods that are often marketed as healthy, yet silently cause your body to create more mucus. These foods may be part of your daily routine, and removing or reducing them could dramatically improve the constant congestion you're experiencing. After we uncover these surprising culprits, I'll also share simple, old-fashioned natural remedies that help your body gently loosen and release the trapped phlegm. These remedies don't force the mucus out, they support your body so the congestion clears on its own, helping you breathe easier, speak more comfortably, and finally get relief from that persistent throat irritation. When your airways are able to remove mucus naturally, breathing becomes noticeably easier and the constant feeling of congestion starts to fade. Research shows that nearly 1 out of every 3 people struggles with an ongoing urge to clear their throat. That sensation you feel, the need to cough, swallow, or clear your throat, is actually your body's filtering system getting overwhelmed.
Your entire respiratory tract, from the inside of your nostrils all the way down into your lungs, is lined with special tissue known as mucosal membranes. These membranes are designed to produce mucus, and even though it sounds unpleasant, mucus plays a crucial role in keeping you healthy. Think of it as a protective, sticky shield. It traps dust, airborne pollutants, bacteria, viruses, basically anything that shouldn't be entering your lungs. That's why you sneeze when you walk into a dusty place or a polluted environment. The body is trying to eject those particles wrapped in mucus before they reach your delicate lung tissue. However, when the system becomes overloaded, the body responds by producing even more mucus as a defense mechanism. Certain foods, acid reflux from the stomach, and year-round allergies can irritate the mucosal lining, forcing your body to produce excess mucus in an attempt to protect itself. The result? Constant throat clearing, coughing, sneezing, blocked nasal passages, and that heavy, uncomfortable feeling in your chest or throat. This excess mucus can even interfere with your breathing, especially when you lie down at night to sleep. It may feel like the mucus is pooling in your throat or sliding down your airways, making it harder to breathe freely. A lot of people rely on over-the-counter antihistamines like cetirizine, or they take cough suppressants in hopes of getting relief from constant mucus and throat irritation. While these medications may temporarily reduce the symptoms, they do nothing to address what's actually causing the mucus to build up in the first place. That's why the moment you stop taking them, the phlegm and congestion quickly return, as if the problem was never gone. To naturally reduce mucus production, the first step is not medication. It's identifying and removing the foods that are triggering your body to produce excess mucus in the first place. When your diet continues to include these inflammatory or mucus-stimulating foods, the body stays in defense mode and keeps producing thick, sticky phlegm to protect itself. So now that you understand that mucus itself is not the enemy, it's an essential protective fluid, but too much of it indicates something is irritating your body, let's move on to the next important part. The 5 everyday foods that most people consume without realizing they are triggering constant congestion.
Number 1. Bananas. Bananas may seem harmless. After all, they're soft, convenient, and often considered a healthy snack. However, if you pay attention, you might notice that shortly after eating a ripe banana, your throat develops a slippery coating, and you feel an urge to clear it. This isn't your imagination. While bananas are indeed rich in minerals, potassium, and soluble fiber, something interesting happens as they ripen. During the ripening process, bananas naturally form compounds that increase the level of histamine in the body. Histamine is a chemical involved in allergic reactions, and when histamine levels rise, your body responds by making more mucus as a defense. If you're already dealing with sinus congestion, post-nasal drip, or recurring mucus buildup, a ripe banana can make the problem even worse. That thick, phlegmy feeling and the need to constantly clear your throat soon after eating one is your body reacting to this histamine response. There is, however, a better alternative. Unripe or green bananas are lower in histamines and less likely to stimulate mucus production. Historically, people also used a traditional trick, sprinkling a pinch of ground black pepper over banana slices. Pepper improves digestion and helps counteract the mucus-forming effects of bananas. So, if you love bananas but struggle with excess mucus, switching to green bananas or pairing them with black pepper may help minimize the congestion.
Number 2, cheese and other dairy products. One of the most common dietary triggers for excessive mucus is dairy, especially cheese. Many people notice that after eating cheese, ice cream, milk, yogurt, or even a simple cup of tea with milk, their throat suddenly feels heavy, coated, or clogged. This isn't a coincidence. Around 65% of the world's population loses the enzyme lactase after childhood, which means their bodies cannot properly break down lactose, the natural sugar found in dairy. When lactose remains undigested, it can irritate the digestive tract and trigger inflammation that travels upward, causing congestion and mucus buildup in the throat and sinuses. Fermented dairy products, such as cheese, yogurt, kefir, and buttermilk, are also naturally high in histamines, the same mucus-stimulating compounds that bananas trigger. Additionally, dairy contains casein, a protein that tends to thicken mucus and make it stickier. For someone who is already congested or dealing with breathing problems, these foods can make the mucus even thicker and harder to expel. This is why eating cheese or dairy often results in throat clearing, coughing, or that stuffy feeling shortly after. To determine if dairy is contributing to your mucus problem, try eliminating all forms of dairy for at least 2 weeks. That includes milk, butter, cheese, yogurt, curd, mayonnaise, and anything containing milk solids. Many people are shocked by how much lighter their chest feels, how their nasal passages open, and how their throat becomes clearer simply by removing dairy for a short period. Number 3. Chocolate. Chocolate may be a comfort food and an emotional pick-me-up, but when it comes to mucus, it's one of the biggest hidden culprits. Many people don't realize that the link between chocolate and mucus is not just about sweetness or dairy. It's about what chocolate does inside your digestive system. At the top of your stomach, there is a ring-shaped muscle called the lower esophageal sphincter. Its job is simple but extremely important. It acts like a valve, staying tightly closed to prevent stomach acid from flowing upward into your throat. Chocolate contains natural compounds, including theobromine and caffeine, that relax this sphincter muscle. Coffee has a similar effect. When this muscle loosens, acid can escape from the stomach and move upward into the esophagus. This irritation triggers a reflex response. Your throat starts creating more mucus to protect itself from the acidity. As a result, you experience that constant urge to clear your throat, especially first thing in the morning. Some people even describe a strange lump sensation in the throat, or they notice post-nasal drip, where mucus seems to drip from the nose into the throat. In simple terms, more acid reflux equals more mucus production. Because of this reflux-mucus connection, avoiding chocolate, along with other reflux-triggering foods, can make a huge difference. This includes coffee, carbonated drinks, alcohol, and anything known to irritate the digestive tract. If you've been dealing with ongoing throat clearing, persistent mucus, or morning congestion, cutting out chocolate and reducing coffee for a few weeks can drastically reduce the symptoms.
Number 4. Bread and modern baked products. Bread might seem like a simple, harmless staple, but for many people dealing with excess mucus, it plays a much bigger role than expected. Interestingly, traditional homemade breads prepared slowly with natural fermentation did not create nearly as many problems. However, today's commercial breads are a completely different product. Modern bakery items you find in supermarkets are often filled with emulsifiers, stabilizers, dough conditioners, and preservatives that extend shelf life and keep the bread soft for weeks. These additives irritate your digestive tract, particularly the stomach and esophagus, which can lead to silent reflux, a form of acid reflux that you don't feel as heartburn, but instead shows up as mucus in your throat. When the stomach becomes irritated by these ingredients, acid can travel upward toward the throat, triggering the body to produce more mucus to protect the delicate tissues of the airway. This can lead to constant throat clearing, post-nasal drip, a persistent cough, or the sensation of phlegm stuck in the throat. And this problem isn't limited to just white bread. Almost all modern bread and bakery products fall into this category. Brown bread, whole wheat, multigrain, pizza bases, buns, brioche, rolls, pastries, the list is endless. Even products marketed as healthy can be loaded with hidden chemical conditioners. If mucus is a recurring issue, cutting down on supermarket breads and replacing them with traditionally made sourdough, grain-free bread, or homemade flatbreads can dramatically reduce the congestion.
In addition to bread, other heavy starches such as rice, pasta, and crackers can also aggravate mucus problems, especially when eaten later in the evening. These foods require more time and digestive energy to break down, so they tend to remain in the stomach for longer periods. When you lie down or go to bed soon after eating them, the chances of stomach acid rising upward increase dramatically. This upward movement of acid, known as reflux, irritates the throat and nasal passages, causing your body to produce more mucus as a protective response. Many people wake up with a congested nose or a throat full of phlegm without realizing their dinner choices were the cause. To reduce this, avoid eating heavy starch-based foods for at least 5 hours before bedtime. Giving your stomach enough time to digest before lying down can significantly reduce reflux and mucus buildup. If bread or starchy foods are something you eat every day, consider replacing them with lighter, easier-to-digest alternatives, especially in the second half of the day. Flatbreads made from legume-based flours, such as chickpea flour, besan, lentil flour, or millet flour, are excellent options. These are gentler on digestion, less likely to cause reflux, and they don't trigger the same mucus response. Eating smaller portions and consuming them earlier in the day allows your body to digest them properly without burning your stomach at night. Making the simple shift, reducing heavy starches in the evening, choosing lighter alternatives during the day, and avoiding fried foods alongside them can lead to a noticeable reduction in mucus production and throat congestion.
Number 5. Foods cooked in vegetable oils and seed oils. The final and often overlooked trigger for persistent mucus buildup is fried or heavily cooked foods made using vegetable oils and refined seed oils, like sunflower oil, soy oil, canola oil, corn oil, and the generic refined vegetable oil used in most restaurants and packaged foods. These oils are highly processed, and when they are exposed to high heat during frying or deep frying, they become unstable. As they heat up, they oxidize, creating harmful, inflammatory byproducts. These chemicals irritate the sensitive tissue lining your throat, esophagus, and airways. The moment irritation begins, your body reacts defensively by coating those tissues with thick mucus to soothe and protect them. You may have noticed this reaction yourself after eating fried chicken, picaras, French fries, samosas, or anything deep fried. You start feeling phlegm gathering your throat, sometimes in as little as 30 to 60 minutes. That sensation isn't random. It's your body trying to repair inflammation caused by the oils. Instead of frying foods, switch to cooking methods like baking, grilling, roasting, steaming, or air frying. These preserve nutrients and reduce irritation. Also, choose better quality fats that are far less inflammatory. Oils such as extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or virgin coconut oil remain stable under heat and do not create the same oxidative damage. Virgin coconut oil, in particular, has natural anti-inflammatory and antiviral properties. Research shows it can even help fight certain viruses and bacteria that contribute to mucus formation in the first place. By eliminating refined seed oils and replacing them with cleaner, natural fats, you'll notice that the heavy throat coating and constant phlegm start to reduce significantly.
So there you have it, 5 major mucus-triggering foods to avoid. As you remove these items from your daily routine, you will start noticing clearer airways, easier breathing, and a lighter feeling in your throat and chest. Now that you've removed the foods that trigger excess mucus, your body can finally begin clearing out what's already accumulated. The next step is to use natural remedies that help thin, loosen, and expel mucus effortlessly. And the first remedy couldn't be simpler: hot water. Decades ago, in 1979, researchers conducted a fascinating study comparing 3 different liquids: cold water, hot water, and chicken soup, to see how they affected mucus movement in the respiratory system. The results were surprisingly clear. Hot liquids immediately improve the flow of nasal mucus, allowing congestion to break apart and move more freely. Heat adds energy to the mucus, making it less sticky and easier for the airways to push out. It also helps soothe irritation inside the throat. In contrast, cold water had the opposite effect. It caused the mucus to become thicker and slowed down movement, worsening the feeling of congestion. So if you ever feel blocked up or heavy in the throat or chest, start sipping on hot water or warm broth. Many people notice relief within minutes. For even better results, keep a thermos of hot water with you throughout the day and add a squeeze of raw lemon juice and a tiny pinch of sea salt. The warmth thins the mucus, the lemon helps naturally break it down due to its acidity, and the sea salt helps draw out mucus from the sinuses and throat. This simple habit can make a noticeable difference, almost like turning on a faucet and allowing the mucus to drain naturally. Another powerful yet incredibly simple natural remedy involves raw onion and raw garlic. These foods are not just ingredients, they are medicinal. Raw onions are one of the richest natural sources of quercetin, a potent plant antioxidant that has been shown in multiple human studies to reduce allergic responses, such as sneezing, watery eyes, runny nose, and excessive mucus secretion. Quercetin works almost like a natural antihistamine, calming down the body's overreaction to irritants.
A very effective way to use this remedy is to include a fresh raw salad in your meals each day, topped with thin slices of onion. To supercharge the benefits, crush a clove of raw garlic and add it to the salad as well. Crushing garlic releases a sulfur-based compound called allicin, known for its antiviral, antibacterial, and mucus-clearing properties. Yes, the flavor will be bold, but if you stick with it, you'll notice that within just a few days, the mucus begins to dissolve and your breathing becomes clearer, especially during a cold or sinus infection. But here's something most people don't realize. Mucus problems often start in the sinuses, not the throat. Those hollow, air-filled spaces in your face can become a hiding place for bacteria, viruses, or even fungal growth. When the sinuses get congested, the mucus has nowhere to go except down the back of your throat. This is what leads to constant throat clearing and the uncomfortable drip sensation. To solve this issue at its root, you can use a simple saline rinse. Clinical studies show that rinsing the nasal passages with salt water significantly reduces sinus inflammation, congestion, and even shortens the duration of colds. A basic and effective mixture is 1 cup of distilled or previously boiled and cooled water, half a teaspoon of non-iodized sea salt, and 5 drops of grapefruit seed extract, a powerful natural antimicrobial. Pour this solution into a neti pot. Then, leaning over a sink, tilt your head and let the liquid flow gently in through one nostril and out through the other. This process washes out pathogens, mucus, biofilms, and irritants that trigger constant mucus formation. Once those unwanted invaders are removed, your body no longer needs to overproduce mucus as a defense mechanism. To complement the nasal rinse, remember to gargle warm salt water periodically during the day. Salt water pulls mucus out of the throat and kills bacteria hiding deep in the tissues, giving you a clean, open airway and easing irritation. Now that the nasal passages have been flushed and the mucus pathway is more open, the next step is to soothe and protect the throat itself, which often remains irritated even after the congestion begins to clear. One of the most gentle yet powerful remedies for this is raw, unprocessed honey. In the evening, simply add a spoonful of raw honey into a cup of warm water or ginger tea. The warmth helps relax the throat muscles, while honey forms a smooth coating over the irritated tissue. This creates a protective barrier that reduces the urge to cough or constantly clear your throat. A randomized controlled study published in the journal Pediatrics found that children who consumed real honey before bed experienced significantly less nighttime coughing and better sleep compared to children who were given commercial cough medicines. Honey worked better than cough syrups because it doesn't just suppress the cough, it actively soothes the inflammation, allowing the throat to rest and heal. Honey also contains natural enzymes with antibacterial, antiviral, and antimicrobial properties, making it effective at fighting the germs that may be contributing to your mucus problem in the first place. However, the key is to choose raw, unprocessed honey, preferably local or organic. Many cheap supermarket brands are heated, filtered, and even mixed with corn syrup or sugar, which not only destroys the medicinal benefits, but can actually increase inflammation and worsen mucus production. Once the throat is soothed and protected, we can now move toward addressing the deeper, underlying causes of excess mucus, making sure the problem doesn't keep coming back. One of the most common and frequently overlooked reasons for persistent phlegm is a condition known as silent reflux, or LPR, laryngopharyngeal reflux. Unlike typical acid reflux, which causes burning sensations and heartburn, silent reflux doesn't have those obvious warning signs. Instead, tiny amounts of stomach acid rise into the throat and irritate the delicate tissue there. The body reacts by producing extra mucus to protect itself, which leaves you constantly clearing your throat or feeling that something is stuck back there. As mentioned earlier, certain foods act as triggers. Things like chocolate, fried foods, peppermint, alcohol, coffee, and acidic meals can weaken the valve above your stomach, allowing acid to escape upward. But the timing of your meals is just as important as the foods themselves. Try eating smaller, lighter meals, especially at night. Avoid eating anything at least 3 hours before bed. Stop eating late-night snacks entirely. Slightly elevate the head of your bed so gravity keeps stomach acid where it belongs. Once you recognize that reflux irritation may be the underlying cause, the next goal is to soothe and heal those irritated tissues so your body no longer needs to overproduce mucus. This is where certain natural remedies shine. Zinc L-carnosine. Widely studied in Japan, this nutrient helps repair the lining of the stomach and esophagus. It supports actual healing, not just symptom relief.
Slippery elm powder or other demulcents like marshmallow root. These create a soft, gel-like coating that lines the throat and esophagus, reducing irritation and giving tissues time to repair. Think of it as a soothing, protective blanket over raw, irritated tissue. These remedies don't merely cover up symptoms, they allow the tissues to heal so your body no longer feels the need to make thick mucus as a defense layer. Now, when mucus becomes thick, sticky, and refuses to budge, there's one remedy that's been used for decades in respiratory medicine, N-acetylcysteine, NAC. NAC works like a natural mucus dissolving agent. It literally breaks down the chemical bonds in mucus proteins, making the mucus thinner, looser, and much easier to expel. NAC not only reduces mucus, it reduces the inflammation behind the mucus. It has been used for years in hospitals for people with chronic bronchitis and stubborn sinus congestion. Standard steady doses range from 600 milligrams to 1200 milligrams once or twice daily. Some people even use liquid NAC in nebulizers, inhaling the mist directly into the respiratory passages, but simply taking a capsule is effective for most people. While NAC works on the mucus, certain nutrients work behind the scenes to prevent excessive mucus formation. Vitamin C,
improves movement of cilia, the tiny brooms that sweep mucus away, found in citrus fruits, berries, bell peppers, and raw vegetables. Vitamin D helps calm an overactive immune system, reducing excess mucus. Get it from sunlight or fatty fish. Zinc supports repair of throat and sinus tissues, found in pumpkin seeds, red meat, and shellfish. Magnesium relaxes airway muscles and reduces coughing spasms, found in leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, and natural peanut butter. These nutrients don't suppress the body's natural protective response, they balance it. So if you're tired of waking up every morning with that annoying thick mucus sitting at the back of your throat, here's your next step, a simple but powerful 14-day mucus reset.
To finally reset your body and reduce mucus production, begin by eliminating the 5 major mucus-triggering foods for the next 14 days: bananas, dairy products, chocolate and coffee, processed breads and refined flour products, and fried or oily foods. These foods irritate the throat and digestive system, promote reflux, and directly stimulate mucus glands, making phlegm thicker and harder to clear. Replace them with nourishing anti-inflammatory alternatives like clean proteins, lentils, eggs, fish, lean poultry, along with lightly cooked vegetables, fresh herbs such as parsley or cilantro, and low-sugar fruits like berries, kiwi, and green apples. Throughout the day, sip hot water from a thermos to help loosen and thin mucus naturally. Incorporate raw onion and garlic into at least one meal daily, as these powerful natural antimicrobials help open the airways and break down mucus. Once a day, perform a saline rinse or gargle with warm salt water to wash out pathogens and remove trapped mucus from the sinus passages and throat. In the evenings, soothe the throat with a cup of ginger tea mixed with raw honey. Ginger calms inflammation, while natural honey coats the throat and reduces coughing or irritation. If mucus remains stubborn and thick, consider adding N-acetylcysteine, a natural mucolytic compound that breaks apart the bonds within mucus, making it easier to expel. Support this process further by ensuring adequate intake of vitamin C to strengthen ciliary movement, vitamin D to regulate immune response, zinc to repair irritated tissues, and magnesium to relax the airways and reduce coughing. Follow this simple 14-day reset consistently, and you will begin to feel lighter, breathe more freely, and finally wake up with a clear throat.